My name is Scott Hamilton. I've been a big brother for 10 years. My little brother's name is Malik. I met Malik when he was 8 years old. He was attending the King Open School in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I had finished raising my kids, and I had a passion for children and helping them develop. I had been a youth sports coach, had been involved with the youth group at the church, and had donated and volunteered a lot of time to those organizations. But what I really was looking for was an opportunity to make a direct impact in the life of a young boy. And I recollected that there was an organization called Big Brothers Big Sisters. And so I called to find out more about their programs. I was enthusiastically welcomed. Fortunately for me, there was a school-based program that was located only about a mile away from where I worked. So I volunteered, got interviewed, screened, and was matched with Malik. And I would spend every Monday going to have a lunch and recess with him at school. One of the amazing things that experience taught me was that in the elementary school that he attended, there were only 3 men in the school. There was the principal, a janitor, and a phys ed teacher. It wasn't long after I started meeting with Malik on a regular basis that we would invariably start a basketball game outdoors on the playground, maybe a football game, maybe even throw around the baseball. And quickly I found other boys gravitating towards us, wanting to have the same kind of experience. And you think maybe you walk into a school and the boy might be embarrassed about having an adult sitting with him at lunch. But very quickly I found that Malik's friends were saying, "I want a big brother too," as he was getting older. I asked him, how about we start meeting just outside of school? And so we've been in the community-based program for many years now. And I've had the opportunity to share lots of adventures. I'm an avid skier, and I figured there would be very few chances in his life to have this opportunity. So I thought it would be pretty cool. So I asked him, I said, "Do you want to do some skiing or do you want to do some snowboarding?" And without hesitation, he said, "Snowboarding." And we actually went a few times. But one of the decisions I made consciously was, even though I'm a very good skier, I decided I am going to also take a lesson and learn how to snowboard. Because it would be very useful for him to see me struggle with something. Because sometimes kids can think that, adults have got it all together. And it's very difficult for them to have permission to struggle with something or to learn something new. So he saw me fall plenty on my face or on my backside. And we enjoyed that moment together. And I think it also taught him a valuable lesson. So about 8 years into the match, when Malik was 16, I unfortunately was diagnosed with ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. It's a terrible disease that unfortunately results in the loss of muscle throughout your body. In all cases, it is a terminal disease. You don't know once you're diagnosed how long you will live or what the quality of your life will be like when you start to lose your muscles. So after being diagnosed and sharing this diagnosis with my family, I knew that I needed to talk to Malik about it and his mom, and to try to bring some compassion and empathy to him, because I knew that the road for me was not going to be easy. I've been very lucky that my disease progression has gone slowly. And as a result, the changes in my health and what I can do has changed gradually over time. At this point in time, I've lived about 3.5 years from the first symptom and over 2.5 years from my first diagnosis. I can tell you that the people here at Big Brothers Big Sisters were very happy to partner with me to kind of walk through how I might share that devastating information with my little. Also involved my little's mother and made sure that she knew what the situation was before I had the conversation with Malik. Malik's mom was present when I told Malik the diagnosis. And of course, he was confused. And it took some time to walk through what the practical situation was for me with him. When he fully understood the consequences of my disease, he was in tears. And those tears represent a deep love and affection for me. And there is no joy without pain in life, and vice versa. And so I can know that our relationship has been very strong and meaningful to him. And as my progression has continued, we've had to curtail some of the activities that we have done over the past 10 years. One of his favorite activities has been to play basketball. And so early in my disease, I was still able to play basketball. I learned how to shoot left-handed so that I could still play with him one-on-one and to play some shooting games. But over time, I've lost the ability to do that. I know that that is sad for Malik. And I know that he still values our relationship. Now that we're able to maybe only get together for a lunch, maybe see a movie together. So after I shared my diagnosis with Malik, I was determined that I wanted to do something special with him before I could no longer travel. And so I asked him, I said, what would be your ideal weekend trip? And without hesitation, he said, I'd love to go to New York City. So right then and there, I started planning how we might be able to do that. And it was quite a funny story because I decided we would take the bus down and back. And unfortunately, when I bought my ticket for him and I bought the ticket on the local bus and not the express. So we went through several cities between Boston and New York, including Providence and Bridgeport, on our way. Instead of it being a 5-hour journey, it turned into about 8.5. And one of the funny things about it is that Malik didn't complain at all. He was just rolling with it. He was all excited that we were going to get to the city eventually. But I was fortunate enough to have some friends that were able to put us up in the city, and we had a fantastic weekend. We had the opportunity to travel on the Staten Island Ferry, walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, have the opportunity to have some lunch in Chinatown, and of course to go to one of his favorite places, a high-end sneaker store. If you're thinking about possibly becoming a big, I strongly encourage you to reach out to Big Brothers Big Sisters to give them the opportunity to explain their program, maybe have the opportunity to talk to another big so that they can share their experience. I think what you will find is that the reluctance, I think, of some bigs as they start is that they have this fear and it's well-based, that for some reason it's going to be difficult, and that they're not going to be adequately supported. But I can tell you that the staff here at Big Brothers Big Sisters does a phenomenal job in supporting you. And those times of support ramp up if your particular match is facing a particularly difficult issue or a crisis. So you need to understand that as a big, you are not alone. There's a team behind you that can help you.